The good news is there are plenty of alternatives to doing a PhD. In today's online world, you can learn anything. And also, if you don't quite know what you want to do after finishing an undergraduate, there are plenty of opportunities to explore the world. Internships and different volunteer positions at research institutions, wherever you like. But the most important thing is that you really understand what you want to do right now. Now, over time, that will change. That is inevitable. Like, the person I was at the end of my undergraduate is completely different to the person I am now. You can only make decisions based on your current information. So I like to kind of look at what I want to achieve in the next 5 to 10 years. Now, this isn't a solid plan. This isn't like hustle until you get there. This is just to set the scene. So you really have to work out what you like about your current position. Why did you finish your undergraduate? Is it that you liked the research component? Is it that you like solving terribly hard questions? Is it that you like the communication aspect? Like, did you like presenting or group work? Or is it that you wanted to translate the kind of research world into real world solutions for problems that humanity are facing? Like, those are the common reasons why people feel like they want to do a PhD. But do you really want to do a PhD, or is it the path of least resistance? I've talked about this a lot on this channel, and it's something that I feel undergraduates, they get to the end of their PhD, the end of their undergraduate, and they're like, oh, I should do a PhD because I don't know what else to do. I've got this far and I think I like that, and I'm being offered a research scholarship. Like, that's probably one of the worst reasons to do a PhD. So thinking about what you actually enjoy, thinking about what you want to do in the near future, and finding options that satisfy those kind of desires are important. This video is brought to you by my newsletter. Go check it out at andrewstapleton.com.au/newsletter. The link is in the description. When you sign up, you'll get 5 emails, everything from how to write the perfect abstract, the tools that I recommend and use, and more. So it's completely exclusive content you only get on that email list, so go sign up now. Okay, the first option, if you want to continue down the education route, is a master's or professional doctorate. Now, this still sort of like gets you a PhD, but it means that you focus on clinical and kind of professional skills rather than the hardcore research for academia. And that can be a good option if you still want to sort of test the waters. And typically you do a professional doctorate after you've spent a little bit of time in a job. So you finish your undergraduate, you do some work in a field, and then you say, you know what, I want to improve my skills, I want to contribute to this profession more, so I'll do a professional doctorate. That's one option. Another option is a master's. Now, a master's, you can still get a lot of the good skills and soft skills and other things that you get from a PhD with a master's, the connections and all sorts. So go check out my other video where I compare masters and PhDs and whether or not you really need to do a PhD, which is much more time, much more stressful, whereas a master's seems to be a nice little contained course that can easily sort of like propel you onto that next step in your career. A PhD is much more open-ended and a little bit tougher in terms of the research and the uncertainty of the future. So yes, masters, and also the 3 types of PhDs that currently exist, there may be another option to like a traditional academic PhD that may suit you better if you want to go out into the real world first, like the professional doctorate, like I mentioned. There's also industry PhDs where you can actually work in industry and get a PhD at the same time. It takes a little bit longer. You work on industry problems. It relies on the university that you want to do your PhD in to actually offer a PhD like that, but there are plenty of options. So go check out those 2 videos, and I think that will help you decide whether or not the academic route is still something you want to do. So masters or another form, another pathway to a PhD can actually be a lot better for many people. Now, if you want to get out of sort of like the university system, but you still want to learn. Now, I love learning. I have done so many online courses in the last sort of 3 or 4 years that I am just constantly, learning things online from expert teachers anywhere in the world. That's one thing universities are going to struggle with in the future, I guarantee you, is that why would I learn from someone in Adelaide, where I am at the moment, if I can learn from the best person in the world at that thing if they've got an online course? And that's what I've been doing. So if you're still sort of desperate to learn more things, to improve your knowledge base for a career or just for fun, there are plenty of online modules that you can take that result in actual qualifications that are applicable to industry and other jobs and other careers. So if you only like one small component of what you're doing at the moment, I guarantee you can find a module online that's offered as a short course or a weekend thing or a 2-week summer school or whatever it is. Like, those are absolutely fantastic options if you just want to sort of like get the knowledge, only sort of distill the learning down to the things you like to do, and then you can sort of like use those skills to sort of slowly mold your career into the direction you want it to go. It's what I did, and I absolutely loved it. I did an entrepreneurship course at Flinders University. I ended up doing different sort of short courses, science communication type courses, and it really helped sort of me realize where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do, and my own sort of like growth, which was fantastic. So go check out short courses. A lot of people get to the end of their undergraduate and they're like, I have no idea what I want to do, because you lack the real world experience. And I completely get it. I even came out at the end of my PhD and I didn't really understand what like a job was, what a career was. I was just like, oh, I'm here. Okay, I'll work in the mines for a bit, which was great. I really enjoyed it. But I got to the end of my postdocs and I was like, I don't want to do this. I know I don't want to do this anymore. So what shall I do? I had no idea. I had ideas. So interning and volunteering, I like to not recommend these too much, but they are fantastic for trying different areas. So I was trying to launch myself from a PhD in chemistry and research into solar technology to a career in science communication. And I had little experience in terms, I volunteered my time. I was the science communication columnist for Australian Quarterly for a couple of years, and that was completely voluntary. And then I was like, okay, I want to make this a career. How do I do that? I actually applied and won an internship position at Cosmos magazine, where I spent 3 weeks in their Melbourne office. And at the end of that, I was a little bit conflicted. I was like, oh, this is actually way more boring and way more procedural than I thought. I thought communicating science was like, getting to the nitty gritty. And I didn't really enjoy the journalist aspect of that style of science communication. So it enabled me to develop an opinion and more knowledge around a certain career, and also volunteering. Like, I volunteered my time a lot. I used to do science communication stage shows where I would volunteer my time and do a quiz, a science quiz with an audience, which was fantastic. I ended up doing, I think it's the National Science Quiz hosted by Charlie Pickering, and that was a fantastic opportunity. So, I volunteered my time and I was like, yes, I want to do more communicating. I want to do more of this sort of stuff. And volunteering and internships can be valuable only if you don't get sucked into doing one after the other, because it's free labor at the end of the day. But if you can use them for your own advantage, they can be very valuable for working out what you really like and where you want to go. And importantly, what you don't like, which is probably more important. If you get there and you're like, I don't like this at all, I'll try something else. Try something else. Learn new things. That is what this exploratory kind of career discovery time is all about. I never thought I would end up running my own business, but that is exactly what I've ended up doing. Now, I started my own startup as a kind of like, oh, I'll start a business. I think this is right. That's why I did an entrepreneurship course at Flinders University, which was fantastic. It was called Venture Dorm. I ended up getting second place, and it took me to the States, and I met loads of entrepreneurs, and I went to Silicon Valley, to Austin, Texas, to New York. It was just brilliant. I met all these people, but that business ultimately, just declined and I didn't really enjoy it anymore. But what it did is it taught me that actually running a business is very much like having and doing a PhD, because you're always tackling problems. You are always solving challenges. You are always asking questions of how to get better in different ways. You know, a good PhD asks really great questions. When you are in business, asking the best questions will make your business better. And I found that it kind of brought together all of my favorite things about a PhD. Now, starting a business is risky. So getting out of your undergraduate and doing a business straight away is great if you can shoulder the risk and also the chance of failure. The younger you start, actually, the easier it is to fail, try again, fail, try again. Oh, this one worked. I've actually had about 3 or 4 businesses that didn't work, mainly because I didn't really enjoy them anymore. I had customers, it was going well, it was, it was bringing in money, I was winning awards, but I was like, oh, I don't want to do this. Once again, my life is all about life by design rather than default. And I looked at the future and I was like, well, I don't want to continue doing this service offering, so I'll try something else. And I've continued to morph and develop as a business owner and an internet entrepreneur, and I've really loved it. So it brought together all of the same aspects of a PhD in terms of problem solving, growth, long-term projects, real-world impact, and ultimately that's what I really like. So starting your own business when you're young can be a really sort of valuable learning experience, just like a PhD. I think they call it the practical MBA, just by going, you know what, I'm going to start a business. Here we go. So there we have it. There's everything you need to know about what you can do instead of a PhD. Let me know in the comments what you would add to that. And also go check out academiainsider.com, where I have my forum as well as my ebook, The Ultimate Academic Writing Toolkit, which will help you boost your career by showing you all the tips and tricks for writing efficiently and quickly throughout your PhD and your early academic career. All right then, I shall see you in the next video.